pussy cost me. And when the nigga started hating, that's when the nigga lost me. Fantastical, that's what the hoes call me. Why y'all trip?
So, now get on camera.
That's a real chat right there.
Okay, listen.
Your heart haven't been tested yet.
My heart hasn't been tested?
Never.
How my heart hasn't been tested?
Never.
I've been tested more than you. A belt don't make a champion. A belt don't make a champion. A belt don't, listen. Yeah, I'm a champion. Answer my question. Answer my question. Answer my question. When I get my WBC, are we going unified? Right away.
I'm making it.
Right away? ASAP, after the 20th. Listen, go win. Go
Mazuma TV back with another video. Alright guys, I know y'all just saw that intro to Tevin Farmer and Gervonta Davis. I posted a previous video about this, about a confrontation they had during the same time but a different moment, you know what I'm saying? And I just saw this clip. I didn't get the chance to see the whole thing, you know. I went online and I wanted to see the rest of the argument. I wanted to see when they approached and just when the cameras initially started recording. And I found this part, and Gervonta has said some interesting things that that caught my attention. You know what I'm saying? He took the Mayweather route. You know, he took the Mayweather's. He went through one of Mayweather's books and took a page out of it and tried to degrade Tevin Farmer based on the 4 losses that he has, which is no problem. You know what I'm saying? He an undefeated fighter. He got bragging rights. He could say whatever the fuck he want. Honestly, you know, when Adrian Broner was on. Was undefeated, he was over here talking about, oh, who the fuck is he? He got a loss and shit. So, you know, he's entitled to do so, I guess. Some fighters just like to bring that up, so it is what it is. And he said another thing that I thought was interesting. Despite Tevin Farmer having 4 losses, he says that he's never been tested. So, I don't know what he really meant by that. I don't know if, like, he's never been pushed to the limit or, whatever, but I'm not gonna come to Tevin's defense, you know what I'm saying, but I am gonna say that Tank is wrong. You know, I'm not saying that Tev is better than Tank. I'm not even saying that Tevin will beat Tank. I'm still like trying to decide who will actually win this fight. Is that close? You know what I'm saying? I take nothing away from Tank, but I gotta like, you know, I gotta let niggas know that shit ain't true, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna tell y'all guys, I did a little bit of research. Most of the shit I know off the top of my head, because, you know, I've been following boxing for a minute. I like to watch the lower weight classes. Not like the Chocolatito weight classes. I like to watch super featherweight and up, you know, and I watch some Rigondeaux here and there at 122 or whatever. But I like to keep up with the small guys, so I know a little bit about them. And I did a little bit of box rec, you know what I'm saying? Box rec could be useful sometimes. They won't tell you the whole story, but it could get you places, you know. And he tried to degrade Tevin Farmer based upon his losses, but when you look at their resumes, although Tevin Farmer had made his debut 2 years before him, Tevin Farmer has not lost since, I believe, 2013. You know what I'm saying? I could look it up, but I think I'm pretty sure he has not lost since 2013. And since then, he has been on a 17-fight win streak. You know, there's been champions that have lost. I mean, there's people who haven't been champions that lost and then came back to dominate. Example is Carlos Baldomir. You know, excuse me. Carlos Baldomir had lost to fucking people out in his country, you know what I'm saying? Came back, became welterweight champion until Mayweather had defeated him. So, shit like that happens, you know. Tevin Farmer was in a 17-fight win streak while Tank alone has 17 fights. So, shit, it's pretty equal, you know what I'm saying? Despite Tevin Farmer's losses, they're both on the same path of victories, you know what I'm saying? They both share 17 straight wins. The difference is Tevin Farmer's losses, of course, you know. And a lot of people could say that Jose Pedraza, the one that Tevin Farmer, had gotten knocked out by Tank got his title from and knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So you could argue that, and that's a pretty solid argument. But we gotta say that Tevin Farmer has evolved so much more since his loss to Pedraza, and there's no doubt about it. You could watch his fights, you could definitely see some improvements. Now, he says that Tevin Farmer hasn't been battle tested, but like 4 losses, that's a testament. That's a testament towards your will on its own. You know, people take the one loss and they crumble. And examples like Ronda Rousey, you know what I'm saying? Naseem Hamed, you know, after he lost to Barrera, he wasn't the same. A lot of people, they crumble after their first loss, you know, so losing 4 times gotta be like a hell of a thing to take, especially if you take boxing serious like Tevin Farmer has, you know. And when you continue to look through their resumes, you get to see that Jose Pedraza is the only undefeated fighter that Tank has beat. Since he wants to bring up undefeated fighters, that's the only guy he has ever beat. I know he has 17 wins, so a lot of his fights are filter fights with like bums and shit. But Tevin Farmer only has 7 more wins than Tank. You know, he got 24 wins, and he has beaten 5 undefeated fighters, where Tank only has 1 undefeated fighter he has beaten. And when you really look through and you scope through their resumes, early on in Tevin Farmer's career, he has faced tougher opposition. You know what I'm saying? I looked through Tank's resume and shit, and I try to look to see who his fighters, the fighters he had defeated, I looked to see who they fought, and it wasn't nothing that really stood out to me, you know what I'm saying? But when you look at Tevin Farmer's resume, he has definitely faced the more like rough opposition, in my opinion. Besides Pedraza, I don't really see anybody on Tank's resume that really like was like, whoa, he was a veteran, or oh, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of Tank's opposition was just coming up just like him, you know what I'm saying? So just to give you an example, shout out to BoxRec for this research, you know what I'm saying? I know most of this shit, but these were fighters that I didn't know of. But I'm gonna start off with the ones I know. He fought Ivan Redkach. Now, if you guys know who Ivan Redkach is, he used to be all over ES News. He got that Miguel Cotto tattoo. He used to fight out of Robert Garcia's gym. You know, he fought Dejan Zlaticanin, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking over at Redkach's record. He fought Dejan Zlaticanin, and I remember that he had gotten stopped. But then Dejan had become WBC champion at lightweight afterwards. So that's somebody on his resume that really stood out. So with that experience coming in to face Tevin Farmer, he wasn't able to defeat Tevin Farmer, which shows that Tevin Farmer definitely has some kind of skill set. Looking through, I seen that Tevin Farmer had also beat Gamaliel Diaz. And Gamaliel Diaz had fought fucking Petrov, the world title contender who had just fought Terry Flanagan. You know what I'm saying? He had come up short, but nonetheless, he's a world title contender. Another guy that Tevin Farmer had beat had been wait. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm tripping. Who? Anthony Crolla. Oh, that had been somebody that I believe Gamaliel Diaz had fought as well. And Corolla just fought George Linares. You know, he lost to him back-to-back. They did a little rematch drawing going on. And, you know, that's another experienced opponent that Gamaliel Diaz had fought. Gamaliel Diaz has also fought Humberto Soto. Yeah, you know, if you guys know who that is, he was a former world champion as well. Look at his box record. He got all the WBC straps. He had the silver title, and he had the world title at one point. So then, the guy has also fought Linares, man. Linares is well known, and I believe he's champion right now, and he's in the talks of fighting Mikey Garcia. But besides all of that, fucking Diaz had defeated Elio Rojas when he was undefeated, somebody that Mikey Garcia had previously had beaten. And he beat an undefeated Robert Guerrero. Now, if you guys remember Robert Guerrero talking about his loss on All Access when preparing for the Mayweather fight, Gamaliel Diaz was the one who had beaten him by a split decision. You know what I'm saying? Then Guerrero came back and knocked him out when he had went back to his dad for training. So, you know, it just goes to show that Tevin Farmer's opposition had hell of experience before facing him. You know what I'm saying? He got rid of them easily. He didn't seem to have any problems with them. You know, Tevin also beat an experienced guy with Dalius Prescott. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to say his name, but he had fought Nicholas Walters, and Nicholas Walters, before losing to Lomachenko, was definitely a threat to anybody. He has not come back since then, since the Lomachenko loss, so I can't necessarily call him a threat anymore, because he could be another one of those fighters that I brought up previously who come back and just aren't the same, you know. So with all of that shit being said, I could definitely argue that Tevin is more battle tested. The reason why Tank is world champion, I think, in my opinion, is because of the people that he has with him. He has a really good team. He's with Mayweather Promotions, and you know, when Mayweather Promotions get fighters, he put them in the best situations possible. Just because he's Floyd Mayweather, he has all of these ties with all of these sanctioning bodies. You know, WBC loves Floyd Mayweather. WBA, I don't think WBO fuck with him. You know, I think all the sanctioning bodies fuck with him besides WBO, because, you know, WBO is pretty much a top rank belt, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, he has a great Tank has a really great team, and it goes for anybody else who's under Mayweather Promotions. Do you guys necessarily, can you guys definitely tell me that Ishe Smith deserved a title shot? Come on, man. Do you think Ashley Theophane deserved a shot at Adrian Broner for the world title? Hell no. And those are all Mayweather Promotions fighters. And none of those guys deserve world titles, but just because they have a great team, they were put in the best situation possible to fight for these titles. So, not taking nothing away from Tank. I'm not saying he's a paper champion at all. I think he beat the champion pretty convincingly. I mean, he fucking stopped him, you know what I'm saying? So he definitely did his thing. I think Tank is a problem. I fuck with him heavy. But I definitely had to look into some things. And when you really look at it, it seems as if Tevin is actually the more experienced guy, fought tougher opposition. And I agree with Tevin in a way. You don't have to have a belt to become champion. You know, this is something that Shannon Briggs has always promoted. Like, everybody has a champ inside of them. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have to have a belt around your waist, a world title belt around your waist, or part of your memorabilia to consider yourself champion. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of great young people out here who consider themselves champion, and they never fought a day in their life. But that's just more of a figurative talk, you know what I'm saying? Just something I wanted to speak on, you know. Not defending Tevin at all. I try to stay away from the bias, you know. I support Tevin more than Tank just because he's from Philly, but I'm not about to be over here riding dick, you know what I'm saying? I'm sticking to the facts, you know, and that's what I like to do, and that's just my style of approaching things, you know. But y'all guys, let me know what y'all think about this right here, man. I've been talking about this fight way before they had gotten into this confrontation, and it's been something that I've been looking forward to heavily. You know what I'm saying? So y'all let me know what y'all guys think about this fight. Let me know what y'all think about my video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the boy. I'm out.